Hello everyone, Eric Jonas Swensson here. This is the Church Basement Tapes. I'm going to speak to you tonight about the Salesian Children's Prayer Revival. And to begin with, I want to talk about two things, which I guess, unless you were talking about a subject like ours, you may not think were connected. But well, first would be about history and writing history, and the second is about prayer and prayer movements. I'm here in my church basement, and my friend, a member of the congregation, my spiritual mother, my spiritual friend Hannah Anda Mikhail is here, and out of all the people in the congregation, she's been the one most interested in this special session I did on the pietists. And I might wonder why. And the answer I give you, you might be surprised. And that is because she's a praying person. And why is she a praying person? Because she is a biblical Christian. Hannah became a Christian while she was a young woman in Ethiopia. She became an evangelical Christian. She grew up in a family who had been Christian, of course, forever. They were Orthodox Christians. But it was through and Hannah, you correct me if I'm wrong, but it was through the work of an evangelical school that you first started learning about that there was a difference between maybe Orthodox Christians and the evangelical Christians. Mm-hmm. This is a school that was founded by Swedish missionaries. One of the stories that I think is so impressive is that this Swedish minister, what was his name, Hannah? The one who dug the well? Okay, so there was this Swedish minister, and he's building the school. Right? He's a pioneer, and he knows that in this every school needs water. In this area, you get water. It's going to come from a well, and he was told by everyone that you can't build a well here. There's no water, and of course, in his mind, he's building a school. He's got plans. It's going to have a big school, and he's going to have all these children. No telling what else he'd have it in his missionary outpost there. He definitely needed his own source of water. So he tried to get the men to help him to dig, and they said, "Oh, no. We're not fools. We know that there's no water here. Stop digging." And he just said, "Well, then I will dig it myself." I don't know the story very well, Hannah. Am I missing any good quotes there? But what I remember from the story that you told me was that he would take his lunch every day into the hole. Oh, you can imagine, the hole was getting deep enough, and he was not finding water that he needed to take a meal with him. So I guess he dug all day. And of course, I wouldn't be telling the story if not. He struck water. And there was a well where there was no well. There was a well where there wasn't supposed to be a well. There's Orthodox priests in Ethiopia today who are pretty sure that the evangelicals shouldn't be there. But the evangelicals are. And there's a huge evangelical church there. The church in Ethiopia, the Presbyterians and Lutherans joined together to make a church. And many people would, some of my Orthodox Lutheran friends would think that was a terrible thing. But I think our pietist friends from the 17th and 18th century would say there's probably a way that you could do that and it would be just fine. So anyway, here I am getting ready to do some lectures on the Salesian Children's Prayer Revival, and as I said, so Hannah's the only one here. Let me just to say one thing about Hannah, besides the fact that she has been a support to me in my ministry here. She's actually taught me quite a bit about the Bible and about people and about the church. She's a great help for me in my ministry and knowing what's going on in the church and the needs of the people, because people here, whether they know why or not, they often tell Hannah when they have problems and when they need help. But one day, about 10 years ago, Hannah calls me up on the telephone and says, "Pastor, could we start a prayer meeting at the church?" And this came out of the blue for me, and I said, "Well, sure, that's a good idea." And she says, "And can we have it on Monday?" And I said, "Well, of course, there's nothing going on in the church Monday morning, yeah." And she goes, "Yeah, and you can come if you want to." And of course, these were famous words, because it turned out that it was me, Hannah, and somebody else for about 7 years. The somebody else kept changing, but me, Hannah, and somebody else. And I'm one of those poor fellows who grew up in a Christian home, have few memories of family devotions or whatever. Everything was done at church on Sunday, and then whatever the church youth group or whatever. And I think there's a whole ton of people in my generation that they really don't know what prayer meetings are. And unless God sneak in here like He did for me with Hannah, many still wouldn't know. But and all of this goes to, it was after a couple of years of these. Well, no, it was actually coincided with my reawakened interest into history and theology, and doing my work on Luther and the Holy Spirit and Pietists. That is actually the prayer meetings strengthened my study, and I think that they kind of opened some doors for me. But you might be surprised in the next session that I think has helped me to come up with a very balanced and I think correct view of the way to do church history. Thank you.